My boyfriend asked for a threesome with his sister. I don't even know how to process this.
Today, we're jumping straight into a situation that's, frankly, pretty jaw-dropping. It's a personal story from an online forum. And the title tells you almost everything you need to know. My boyfriend asked for a threesome with his sister. I don't even know how to process this.
Ah.
So yeah, we're going to unpack the shock, the confusion, all of it.
Right. Our goal here is really to look at the key moments in this incredibly unsettling request. It's fascinating and disturbing how something suggested so casually can just rip open huge relationship problems, boundary issues. You feel her shock immediately. She starts by saying, it's gross, and I'm actually shaking just thinking about it again. That's visceral.
Definitely. So the setup is, she's 29, he's 31. They've been together almost 2 years, living this, seemingly normal life in Ohio. She does mention he was always a bit more open about sex stuff, hinted about maybe adding someone. Sure. But she'd always just laughed it off, thought they were strictly monogamous, kind of brushed it aside before.
And that's important, isn't it? How we sometimes dismiss those little comments, those red flags, until something like this happens. Her laughing it off before, it's almost like a defense mechanism, avoids the conflict, then bam! Lazy Saturday morning, 11 a.m., they've got coffee, watching Netflix, just normal. And he drops it. Dead serious, she says. Smiling, like he had just suggested we try a new pizza topping. Proposes a threesome with his sister.
Ugh. Just imagine that. She said, I froze. I literally had my mug halfway to my mouth and I just stopped.
Yeah.
That complete freeze. And she's trying to make sense of it, right? Like, is he joking? Is he drunk? But nope, he was serious.
Totally serious. And the reasons he gave. Wow.
Yeah, the justifications are just bizarre. He apparently said things like, in some cultures, siblings aren't weird about this stuff. Friends, we're all adults here.
Yeah.
And the kicker, that it would be a beautiful bonding experience to bring everyone closer. Her skin was crawling, she said. You completely get why.
You really do. That physical revulsion, that freeze response, it's your mind and body just screaming wrong, violation of trust, basically. But the part that really seals the deal, the betrayal, it comes later that night.
Oh, right, the text message.
Exactly. She gets a text.
Yeah.
From his sister. Just a casual, hey, girl, with a, wait for it, flirty winky face emoji.
No!
Seriously.
And that just confirms it, doesn't it? He already talked to his sister about this before he even brought it up with his girlfriend. So now she feels totally gaslit, looking back at every interaction, every family dinner, feeling nauseous. It wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment weird idea.
It was premeditated. Wow. Okay, so what happened right after the immediate fallout?
Well, she left, went straight to a friend's place, needed that distance. And interestingly, the friend apparently mentioned she'd always thought the brother-sister relationship was maybe a little too touchy, another one of those flags.
Or flag the girlfriend had maybe ignored or explained away before. Probably. And meanwhile, the boyfriend, he's texting her like nothing happened, sending memes, asking her to come over later, no apology. Nothing.
Just completely oblivious, or maybe choosing to be. Her final feeling was just, I don't even think I could look at either of them the same way again. I mean, how could you?
You couldn't. And this specific, really extreme story, it points to something broader for all of us listening. It hammers home the absolute need for clear boundaries. Communication, obviously. But also, crucially, listening to your gut when something feels deeply off.
Yeah.
When a partner just casually dismisses your comfort like that, especially on something this fundamental, it's way past unsettling. She nailed it when she said, no, it's his sister. That's not a gray area. Some things just aren't up for debate.
Absolutely. And the person who shared this story, she included a sort of moral at the end. She wrote, if your boyfriend ever says, hear me out before a sexual suggestion, don't. Just don't. It makes you think right. How often do we get those hear me out moments before something truly uncomfortable? When is it time to stop hearing them out and actually listen to that internal alarm bell saying, this is wrong, this is a breach, something to definitely think about?
I was in a coma for 3 months and had the same nightmare every single night.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine being in a coma for months, right? But instead of just nothingness, your mind creates this whole totally terrifying reality. It's just mind-boggling, isn't it? That's really the core of the deep dive we're taking, and we're pulling it from this gripping personal account shared over on Reddit.
Yeah, and what's truly compelling here, I think, is how this narrative gives us such a unique glimpse into the brain's activity under, well, extreme circumstances. We're not just looking at a scary story, though it is scary. We're looking at the very real questions it brings up about consciousness, about memory, and how the brain basically constructs reality when the body is, unresponsive.
Right. So our mission today is to really explore this incredibly vivid, looping nightmare someone experienced during a 3-month coma. And then maybe dig into the unsettling questions about what kind of echoes, what lingers after such a profound internal experience like that. So, okay, the story kicks off with this sudden, really jarring shift. This person was in a nasty car accident, I-84, just outside Hartford. Black ice, a semi involved. Their Honda Civic just crumpled. They remember maybe 3 seconds of being conscious in an ambulance, seeing a bright surgical light, and then just blank. A total blank that turned out to last 91 days.
But blank isn't how they experienced it at all, not from the inside. In their mind, they weren't in a hospital bed. They found themselves in this old 2-story house they'd never actually seen before. And the sensory details are quite remarkable. Dark wood paneling, this really ugly green carpet that squeaked when they walked, and this pervasive kind of unsettling smell everywhere. Wet dirt and boiled cabbage.
With dirt and boiled cabbage, that's so specific.
It is. And why those specific, almost mundane details would be so vivid in such an extreme state is fascinating. It really shows the brain trying to build a complete sensory world, even, maybe from fragments of memory or just generating it whole cloth.
And here's where it gets really, really interesting. Every single day in this place, this dream, felt identical. They'd wake up in this narrow upstairs bed, always early morning, gray light coming through these lace curtains. And downstairs, always the same sound described as not walking, more like dragging. So from a psychological perspective, why create that? Why a perfect loop, this inescapable reality?
Well, that's a crucial point. The repetitive nature, this looping, it could be the brain's attempt to establish some kind of predictable framework, albeit a terrifying one when there's no external sensory input coming in. It's like a form of internal self-organization, maybe using the same brain networks that are active when we dream, but just locked in this cycle. The mind trying to impose order, even on chaos.
A terrifying order.
Exactly. And that feeling of being utterly trapped just highlights it. They mentioned trying doors at the end of the hall, right? But they just opened into identical hallways. Trying to go downstairs just led them right back upstairs.
Wow.
Even the windows were useless. Smashing them felt like hitting a TV screen, just flat, cold, and outside. Only a grow yard, leafless trees, and no sky. Just grayness.
A total psychological prism. And the nightmare wasn't static either, that dragging sound.
No, it escalated.
It got louder every day. Like whatever was making it was getting closer, actually coming upstairs.
Right.
And then there was this midday thing. A faint old rotary phone would ring, like 3 rooms away. But it always stopped right before they could get to it.
Always out of reach.
Yeah. And then the dragging would start up again, only slower this time, heavier.
The absolute climax of this repeating day, though, was the most terrifying part. Around night, the lights in the house would just go out one by one, and the darkness wasn't just dark, the description was solid, like a physical presence.
Yeah. So they'd lock themselves in the little bedroom, back pressed against the wall, just listening as the dragging sound stopped right outside their door. And then this chilling whisper right by their ear, "Not yet."
Chilling.
And then they just wake up, back in the same bed, morning light, ready for it all to start again.
This continuous loop was going on for what felt like years to them. It completely warped their sense of time. They started to believe this dream was their actual life.
Right. Real life, people, sunlight, even Instagram notifications. That stuff felt like a hazy, distant dream they'd had a long, long time ago.
The internal reality became primary.
Totally. So when they finally actually woke up in the real world, it was to their mom crying by their hospital bed. And the very first thing they said was, "It didn't get me."
And the mom, understandably, was just confused.
Completely. The doctors explained, you've been unconscious for 91 days. You were just asleep. But the user was adamant. "No, I swear to God I was there the whole time."
And this vividly illustrates how subjective experience, even in comatose or minimally conscious states, can be far more complex, more structured than we often assume. Doctors might see unresponsiveness and think asleep, but accounts like this really challenge that simple on-off switch view of consciousness. It suggests the brain's drive to create meaning. It just keeps going.
Even without external input. And here's maybe the most unsettling part for me. The lingering impact. Physically, they're mostly okay now. Some nerve pain, a bit of a limp. But the really disturbing thing is how those sensory details from the dream house persist.
They bleed through.
Yeah. Sometimes at night in their actual apartment now in New Haven, they swear they can smell that wet dirt and cabbage again. And twice now, they've woken up to the faint sound of something dragging across their living room floor, even though they own nothing, absolutely nothing, that could make that noise.
That's deeply unsettling.
Right. Their conclusion, I'm not sure it stayed there.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really raises an important question, doesn't it? This kind of profoundly immersive, terrifying internal experience. It challenges our understanding of memory, of trauma. The brain clearly doesn't just forget these intense internal realities. They can get encoded almost like waking experiences, bleeding into our perceived reality later on. It highlights the sheer power of the brain to create internal worlds that feel more real sometimes than the external one.
So what does this all mean? Where does that leave us? Perhaps the most unsettling idea here isn't just what the mind can conjure when the body's offline, so to speak, but it's how those internal landscapes, once they've been that vivid, might actually continue to bleed into our real lives. It leaves you wondering, where does the nightmare truly end? Makes you pause, doesn't it?
My brother bullied me growing up. Now he works for me, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
We sift through stacks of sources so you get the key takeaways fast. We're plunging into a really fascinating personal story. It's all about sibling dynamics, these long-held grudges, and then, well, this unexpected twist of fate. We're looking at a Reddit thread from Midwest Mike 84. The title grabs you. My brother bullied me growing up. Now he works for me, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, and our mission here is to really unpack the psychological side of this. What kind of satisfaction comes from a total role reversal like this? And how did these old relationships change when the power balance just completely flips? It's a pretty unique look at someone finding, let's say, resolution, finally feeling like they're, quote, standing at their own height after years of feeling small.
Okay, let's get into it. Mike, the poster, sets the scene in small-town Illinois. His older brother, Dave, he calls him creative mean. What does that actually look like? What kind of stuff was happening?
Oh, it's quite something. Mike says Dave was like a master of the psychological stuff. Not just teasing. We're talking icy Hot Wheels tracks pressed against his legs until they snapped. Calling him Mayo Mike because he was pale. Even convinced the neighborhood kids Mike ate boogers. I mean, yeah. And Dave was the golden boy. Charismatic, athletic, popular, had a dirt bike, rode it shirtless, classic stuff. Mike, though, he was the quiet one. Into drawing spaceships, reading Goosebumps, total opposite.
Oh, that worse.
It did. Dave apparently locked Mike in a shed once. And maybe the worst part, told Mike's middle school crush he had chronic diarrhea.
Oh my God. That leaves a mark.
Definitely. It's that kind of sustained emotional and social torment that really sticks with you.
So fast forward 20-something years, this is where it gets good, right? How did things pan out?
Right. This is the twist. Mike, he's 40 now, living in Chicago, doing well.
Yeah.
Runs some small marketing agency, maybe 12 employees. Nice office, exposed brick, the works. Buys the good coffee Pete's Major Dickinson, he notes.
The details matter. And Dave?
Well, Dave kind of peaked in high school. String of random jobs, couple of divorces, these suspicious side hustles, Mike mentions. Sounded like pyramid schemes, apparently. Then, totally out of the blue, Dave applies for a junior account manager job at Mike's agency.
No way.
Yes way. Starts the email, hey, little bro, long time. I could totally crush this role for you.
Oh, the confidence. Did Mike actually hire him?
He did.
Oh.
He laughed about it, but yeah. Put him through a formal interview process and hired him. Mike admits part of him really wanted to feel that power shift, that inversion.
I can almost understand that. So is Mike getting some kind of big Hollywood revenge, like humiliating Dave daily?
No, and that's what's so interesting. It's not some big dramatic showdown. It's quieter, more steady. Mike approves Dave's vacation time now, sets meeting agendas. He hears Dave say things like, got a boss.
That must be surreal.
Totally. Mike's seen Dave struggle too, apparently. Called Slack that chat thing for the first month. Mike even had to step in during a client presentation once. Told him something like, Dave, why don't you circle back on that when you've got your numbers straight?
Oof. Subtle, but effective.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming agency, isn't it? After years of being made to feel small, Mike's now literally the one in charge.
So how's Dave taking it? Is he resentful? Or has he actually changed?
That's another fascinating layer. Dave seems to have actually become, Well, respectful. The old nicknames are gone. He calls Mike by his actual name. Sends work memes on Teams, apparently.
Huh.
Any apology? The closest thing was Dave saying maybe over beers after work. You're doing good, man. Way better than I thought you'd turn out.
Backhanded compliment much.
Kinda, yeah. But maybe the best Mike could expect. Mike admits he hasn't completely let go of the resentment. There's definite satisfaction there. But ultimately, it connects back to that idea of standing at his own height. Not about shrinking Dave, but about Mike finally feeling his own worth. It's a kind of psychological closure.
It really makes you think. And that brings us to a question for you listening. How much do you think those past dynamics, maybe from your own childhood, still shape your relationships now? And what does it really mean to find your own power, your own place, maybe decades later when life finally gives you a different perspective? Is it about settling scores or just finding your own level, something to chew on? My girlfriend insists I quit my job so we can live like Instagram, and I'm honestly losing my mind.
There's a powerful, almost universal fantasy, isn't there? That urge to just ditch the routine, to escape, trade the daily grind for, I don't know, some big adventure.
Oh, absolutely. It's that siren call, isn't it? Freedom from the 9 to 5. A vision lots of us have, maybe just for a second sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And that potent fantasy, it's right at the heart of the Reddit dilemma we're deep diving into. Our source material takes us straight into the relationships thread. We've got this 29-year-old guy in Austin, Texas, and he's grappling with a pretty huge demand from his girlfriend.
Right. She wants him to quit his stable job so they can, and this is the phrase, live like Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Live like Instagram. So our mission today is really to unpack this specific situation. It's more than just a relationship fight, isn't it?
Definitely. It's like a perfect case study. You see this tension between that aspirational online look and the actual real costs and comforts of just, normal life. Stability. It's a clash of visions, and it gets pretty intense.
Okay, so let's break it down. You've got M, the guy posting. He's 29 in Austin, lives with his 26-year-old girlfriend, L. And M sounds like the picture of grounded reality. Stable remote IT job.
$87,000 a year plus benefits. He mentions that specifically. He's comfortable, likes his routine, his apartment, even his local grocery store. He's not looking to escape.
Right. But L, she seems like the stark opposite here. She's a freelance social media consultant.
Yeah, and M notes her work seems to be mostly making graphics, TikToks, that kind of thing. And critically, her income is way lower and really volatile, sometimes just $1,200 to $1,500 a month, he says.
Wow, okay. That's a huge difference.
It really highlights that aspirational income trap you sometimes see, where the online image, the professional idea, feels much bigger than the actual, often unstable earnings.
Yeah, that gap between the curated image and the financial reality, that seems central. And then things apparently escalated about 6 months ago.
Right. Elle had an Instagram reel go viral. Something about cleaning their kitchen, M says. And that gave her this big, dopamine rush. Suddenly, their whole life needed to become content for the brand.
Branding their life. And what does that mean for Elle?
Well, for Elle, it means M ditching his, quote, boring corporate job so they can travel full time. She's constantly sending him these videos.
The aspirational digital nomad videos. Filtered, staged laughs, exotic locations.
Exactly. Always followed by, this could be us. So what started as maybe her hobby, it turned into this demand that affects both their futures. Big time.
M apparently just brushed it off at first, thought it was daydreaming, but she kept pushing, accusing him of wasting his life.
Yeah, and she seems convinced they could make money through brand deals. She uses phrases like, the universe rewards bold moves, even argues, it's not the 1950s, we don't have to be tied down.
How does someone like M, who seems so practical, even respond to that?
Well, that's the core issue. He tries to explain the practicalities, costs, plane tickets, living expenses, basic financial literacy.
But she just dismisses it.
Totally. Calls it a scarcity mindset. Tells him to stop thinking small. He described it as arguing with a pyramid scheme brochure, which tells you a lot about how entrenched her view became. It sounds almost unreasonable.
Yeah, wow. Like talking different languages. So the tension just built and built.
Until it hit a breaking point. They were at brunch with friends, and Elle apparently just announced, without even talking to M first, that we're going to start traveling full-time soon, then looked at him for confirmation.
Oof. That's rough. Publicly putting him on the spot like that.
Exactly. He confronted her later, and she apparently resorted to emotional manipulation, accused him of not believing in her dreams, said he was scared of success.
That phrase, Scared of success.
Yeah.
That's quite a tactic.
It really is. It twists the situation right. Blames M for not buying into her, frankly, unrealistic vision. It shows how that online validation can become so powerful it just dictates real-life decisions, pushing someone to ditch everything solid.
But M seems pretty clear on his end. He actually likes his life.
Yeah.
He's not miserable. He doesn't need Bali to feel fulfilled.
Right. He says he's unwilling to burn through my savings on the gamble that strangers on the internet will watch us make pancakes in different time zones.
Ah. Okay, that's a pretty vivid way to put it. He sees it as an aesthetic mood board, not a life plan.
Mm-hmm. And I think this whole deep dive, it really just lays bare that tension between the glamour you see online, that curated aesthetic, and the very real, often unglamorous cost of actually trying to live it. It's a powerful example of how these digital dreams can collide hard with practical reality, especially inside a relationship.
Absolutely. It really makes you think. And that kind of leaves us, and you, with a final provocative thought to chew on. When dreams get filtered, presented through that perfect lens, how do you tell what's genuine aspiration versus just a carefully curated image? And maybe more importantly, what does it actually take to build a shared future when two people's visions are just so dramatically different?
I found secret texts between my husband and his mom plotting to control me.
So imagine this. You're doing something totally normal, maybe washing dishes, and boom, phone drops in the sink. So annoying. But what if that little accident actually ripped the curtain back on something, well, shocking about your marriage? A listener's story, it's incredible really, about finding secret texts between her husband and his mother, about basically a secret plan to control her.
Yeah, and what's really striking here is how seemingly normal family stuff, how it can actually hide this deeper, more strategic effort to control someone, coercive control, essentially. Our mission today is to unpack that, what it feels like when that trust just evaporates suddenly, and to show you how subtle it can actually be.
Okay, right. Let's get into it. So our listener's phone was, well, dead, water damage. She had to borrow her husband's. Now, apparently, he was always a bit weird about his phone, like protective, the type, oh, I'll look that up for you instead of just handing it over.
Mm-hmm. Bit of a flag there already, maybe?
Maybe. But she needed it for work, so okay, he gave it to her. And while she has it, ping, notification. It's from his mom, Linda, and the preview says, did you tell her about the budget yet?
Okay, wow. Right away, that's odd. A secret budget discussion. Why? It hints at something hidden, right? Like a lack of transparency. Mm-hmm. Violating boundaries, certainly.
Exactly. So she opened it, and oh boy, the thread went back months.
Yeah.
This wasn't just, how are things. It was detailed, coordinated, all about her. Talking about her spending. Apparently she buys too many lattes, doesn't get how expensive life is.
Uh-huh. Judging for choices.
Totally. And her work schedule. She shouldn't be out past 7 p.m. And even her friends, this one friend, that Megan girl, she was a bad influence.
It's not just snooping, is it? It
Fair.
sounds like total enmeshment. Like the mother and husband think they have the right to dictate her life, but they frame it as concern or help. It's insidious. It strips away her autonomy.
And then it gets, strategic.
Yeah.
The mother giving explicit advice on how to manage her. Things like keep cash instead of giving her access to the main account. Or don't let her do grocery shopping alone.
Wow.
And get this one. Make sure she runs purchases by you first so she learns. That word learns. Ugh.
Chilling. It really is. So what's driving that need for control? Well, the mother actually said, and this is maybe the most shocking part, you have to keep women in check before they get ideas.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It reveals this really deep patriarchal mindset, doesn't it? That women need managing, need restricting.
And the husband. What did he say back to that?
Just a thumbs up emoji.
The thumbs up,
Yeah.
No argument, no nothing, just agreement. Okay. And what really, I think, twisted the knife was the money thing, the financial betrayal. She needed a car repair. He tells her, oh, sorry, we can't afford it right now. Made her use her credit card.
Okay.
But in the texts, he told his mom he could afford it. He absolutely could. But, and this is a quote, it was good for her to handle some consequences so she won't be careless next time.
Wow. That's calculated. There's financial abuse, plain and simple. Controlling her access to money. And it's gaslighting too, right? Making her doubt the reality of their finances, making her feel irresponsible, deliberately manipulating her to teach her a lesson.
Unbelievable. So she confronted him.
How did that go?
He didn't deny it.
Yeah.
His response was basically, well, you can be impulsive sometimes, and Mom just has more life experience. She's only trying to help.
Afflicting. minimizing, justifying. Classic responses when caught.
Yeah. And she said it was this sudden, horrible realization. Her marriage felt like a well-managed cage. It made her look back at everything, every suggestion he'd ever made. Were they all part of this?
Mm-hmm. And that's the corrosive effect, isn't it? Once that trust is gone, everything looks different. Every past interaction is tainted. This whole thing just shows how these hidden agendas, this coordinated control, can completely poison the foundation of a relationship.
So yeah, what does this mean for you listening? I mean, this deep dive, it's intense. It really shows how things aren't always what they seem, even with the people closest to us.
It definitely raises a big question. How do we tell the difference between someone genuinely caring genuine concern and these really subtle, sneaky attempts to control us, especially when it's family or partners, and they keep saying it's just help?
Right. So maybe think about this. In your own life, are there any suggestions, any helpful advice that might actually be shaping your choices more than you realize? Something to consider.
My ex suddenly wants me back, now that I'm finally doing well.
We're getting into something pretty relatable. What happens when someone from your past pops back up, especially after your life has, completely changed?
Yeah, it's fascinating, and we've got this great story to unpack it.
Exactly. We're looking at a Reddit post from Irrelationships, user EthroRacoffee92. It's this really vivid account of personal growth, resilience, and figuring out what value really means.
Mm-hmm. And what's so compelling isn't just the turnaround itself, the success story. It's more about how external views can mess with our own sense of self-worth.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the freedom when you finally break from that.
Right. A whole redefinition of worth, really.
So let's paint the before picture. This was 4 years ago. Our guy's tummy 7, basically, self-described rock bottom.
Sounds grim.
Yeah, working in a dingy coffee shop in Baltimore, driving a 98 Civic that he said sounded like a lawnmower with asthma.
Oh boy. Been there with the car situation.
Right. And eating ramen with peanut butter mixed in for protein.
Oof. Okay, so really scraping by.
Definitely. And he's dating Samantha. She's got this marketing job, seems put together, but he notes she saw his potential way more than, him right then.
The potential partner. That puts a certain pressure on things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when it's mentioned.
It does. And it came to a head. They're at this semi-fancy restaurant, and she apparently says out loud, "I just wish he'd get his life together faster."
Wow. In public.
Seems like it. Then adds, "He's smart, but I don't want to wait forever."
That's rough. It frames his current state as just not good enough.
About external markers, right?
Yeah.
Stability defined by her terms.
Exactly. And a month later, she dumps him. The reason, I love you, but I need stability. You're just stuck.
Stuck. There's that word. A real judgment on his value then. And that kind of thing can really echo your own worst fears about yourself.
Oh, for sure. He felt it. Says he had 3 months of existential crisis. Kept her Netflix login as a tiny petty win.
Been there too. Maybe not Netflix, but something similar. But then comes the change, right? Yeah, the pivot. He says, hitting rock bottom. It's surprisingly motivating. What is it about that lowest point that can just flip a switch?
Well, sometimes it's just, there's nothing left to lose. The fear of failure kind of evaporates because, you're already there.
Right. Makes sense.
So for him, that meant going all in on this tech side project, an app connecting freelance photographers with small businesses.
Okay.
He's coding nights, still working the coffee shop days, living off, cheap pizza.
Cheap pizza slices, yeah. And it wasn't about proving Samantha wrong, necessarily. More like building something for himself.
Exactly, an internal drive. It had to come from him.
And boom, it works. The app blew up, got investors.
Yay.
Suddenly he's got a decent apartment downtown.
Yeah.
Trades the lawnmower Civic for a used but respectable Subaru. And the real marker.
Yeah.
Buying groceries without sweating over his bank app.
That is a feeling. Financial breathing room. But life always throws curveballs, doesn't it?
It does. Just as he's stable, guess who slides into his DMs?
Samantha. Let me guess.
Yep. Instagram message. "Hey, stranger Anyface. Saw your interview. So proud of you. We should catch up sometime."
The classic catch up after noticing the success. Okay.
They meet. New rooftop bar. A place she apparently used to say he couldn't afford yet.
Oh, subtle power dynamics there already.
Totally. And she says, "You look amazing. You've really grown into yourself." He kind of read that as, "You finally dress like an adult."
Perception is everything. And what was her situation?
A bit shaky, actually. Left her marketing job, startup she joined, went under, now freelancing. Last relationship ended mutually.
Okay. The timing is interesting.
And then she drops it, I think I made a mistake letting you go.
Wow. Okay, there it is.
Yeah. Tries to spin it like fate, saying she always believed in me, just wasn't ready back then.
Right. It makes you ask, doesn't it? How often do people only recognize value after it's become obvious, undeniable success? It feels less about seeing him and more about valuing the outcome, the stability he now has.
He admits feeling a bit smug, which, fair enough.
Yeah.
But mostly, he just felt done, like not interested.
The spark was gone.
Completely burned out, he says. So he just politely declined, said he wasn't looking to revisit the past.
Good for him. How did she take it?
A sad little smile. Looked like she was doing that mental math of what could have been.
Yeah, I can picture that.
And the kicker.
Ugh.
Walking home, he gets a slice from the same old corner pizza place. Greasy, cheap, perfect.
Full circle.
And he has this realization. Success is nice, but being able to say no to the people who doubted you, that's priceless.
That hits hard. It's not about revenge, is it? It's about self-validation, cutting ties with the old story someone else wrote about you.
Absolutely. It just hammers home that real worth, that solid feeling. It comes from inside, not from what anyone else thinks, past or present. Building your own life.
So, a question for you listening. How much of your own self-worth might still be tangled up in what others think or used to think? And what does it really take to define that for yourself?
Yeah. And what does saying a firm no to the past really mean for becoming the person you are now? Definitely something to chew on, like that pizza slice.
Thanks for being with us.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.